Student Trustee Sorer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to staff. This is a follow-up question from the last special board meeting where I follow up to my question from the last special board meeting where I expressed students' concerns about the lack of regulated breaks within each 150-minute learning block. In reply to that question, staff acknowledged the need for such breaks and expressed that students should expect teachers to employ mechanisms that include breaks as they see fit. With that being said, in a 24-hour survey I have personally conducted at the end of the first school week, 65% of over 200 students spanning about a dozen different secondary schools have expressed that they are getting breaks during the 150-minute learning blocks, which is great news. Unfortunately, though, that meant that 35% have not gotten any breaks in their learning blocks. And what's interesting is that the distribution of the schools across the yes and no answers are the same, which means students of the same schools are not having a consistent experience simply because of the classes they attend. So my question is, can it be ensured that all students in all classrooms in WRDSB schools are consistently getting the much needed breaks in each 150-minute learning block without passing the responsibility of asking to students, which would undeniably make them uncomfortable having to face their teachers about something that they might have already decided against?
Well, Superintendent DeBoer.
Sure, through the chair to the student trustee. Thanks for the question and for the follow-up. In speaking with some schools last week as well, I know teachers are using a variety of ways to ensure learning breaks, brain breaks. There's all kinds of different terminology used for it, and a variety of ways in which that can happen. And that'll depend, as like I mentioned last time as well, that'll depend on the type of course being offered, the content of the course. Grade 12 physics class will look very different from a phys ed class or a tech class or something like that. It will look different in different classes. Also want to add, I didn't add this last time, students are required to have 300 instructional minutes per day as required by the Ministry of Education, and need to have a minimum number of hours of instruction in a semester as well for a credit to be granted. So, the number of minutes students are learning is important as well. However, it is important that students feel that they can, have a break from time to time as well, a brain break. I would like to remind students as well that in the pre-pandemic system 2 years ago, we also had 150-minute breaks, blocks of learning in the morning and 150-minute blocks of learning in the afternoon, with a 5-minute break in between where students would gather up their books and go to their lockers, get their next books, and go down the hall to their next class, and typically wouldn't have breaks, throughout the rest of that learning class in the old system as well. But to your point as well, student trustee, teachers do know that students need breaks from time to time, and again, that'll happen in a number of ways. The process for students who do have concerns is to talk to their teacher. They can engage their parents in that conversation as well if they so wish. And they can also talk to their guidance counselor or vice principal about their concerns as well, and be, have some agency and self-advocacy in those moments as well.
Follow-up, student trustee Sorer.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the response. I would just like to clarify that even as you were saying, the 2 75-minute breaks that we would have had in a normal semester, periods, there would have been a 5-minute break from transitioning into the one class to another, but that is not even happening for some students, is just what I'm trying to communicate, that even something as simple as a 5-minute break, some students are not experiencing that. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and that's noted by staff.
So be it resolved that the Director of Education explore possible avenues for enhancing the COVID vaccine reporting system for WRDSB employees, beyond the vaccine reporting requirements established by the province of Ontario, that this exploration involve consultation with OPSPA, CODE, other Ontario school boards, bargaining units, non-unionized employee groups, Waterloo Region Public Health and Legal Counsel, and that trustees be updated on the progress of these discussions no later than the September 27th board meeting.
All in favor? Motion to defer? Opposed?
We have just been in school for 5 days, and despite that, in almost every interaction that I have had with secondary students, they have expressed that the 40-minute lunch break does not provide enough time to eat or purchase the necessary food. This is only expected to get more challenging as the winter season falls upon us. So, my question is, are there currently plans in the works to extend these lunch breaks? And if not, what steps can be taken to address students' prevalent concerns? Hello, fellow WRDSB students. You may have noticed that the previous question was not asked in the meeting. A written version of the 2 questions in the video clip was pre-sent 2 days before the meeting per the WRDSB meeting protocol. Despite that, only 1 question was asked. It's pretty unfortunate that I was not comfortable enough asking the second question given the exchange that happened in reply to my first. I'm very sorry and disappointed that I was not able to fulfill my duties as a student trustee to be a voice for the student body, and for that, I apologize to every student in the Waterloo Region District School Board. I hope in the future meetings I'm given a better chance to represent you, and rest assured, I will bring up that unasked question in the first opportunity I'm able to, and hopefully I will be able to get an answer. Thank you again for entrusting me with your questions and concerns.